What's the funniest thing someone's ever paid you to do? When I was 22, broke, and living off ramen noodles in my studio apartment, I found the weirdest job posting on Craigslist. Need confident young man to pretend to be my successful son at family reunion. Must be good with small talk and able to lie convincingly. $500 for one afternoon. $500? I could eat real food for months and maybe even pay my electric bill that was 3 weeks overdue. So I called the number immediately. This lady named Beverly picked up on the first ring. She sounded nervous but determined, like she'd been planning this for months. She explained that her family thought her son Kevin was this big shot lawyer working at some fancy firm in downtown Chicago. In reality, Kevin was sitting in county jail for his third car theft charge. I've been telling them stories about his promotions and fancy apartment for 3 years, she said, her voice shaking. Now they want to meet him at our annual 4th of July barbecue. I can't keep making excuses. I met Beverly at a Starbucks to go over my fake life story. She showed up with a whole 3-ring binder prepared like we were studying for the bar exam. Kevin's fake law school graduation photo, business cards she'd printed at Kinko's, even a rehearsed story about winning some big environmental lawsuit. You're 25 years old, you work at Hartley & Associates downtown, you drive a silver BMW, and you're engaged to a pediatric surgeon named Ashley. She drilled into me for 2 hours. She'd even brought clothes. A navy suit that was slightly too big, shiny dress shoes, and a fake Rolex that looked convincing from a distance. The day of the reunion, Beverly picked me up in her dented Honda Civic. She was sweating bullets despite the air conditioning. Remember, Uncle Charlie will definitely ask about your salary. Say it's confidential but hint that it's well into 6 figures. We pulled up to this suburban backyard full of folding tables, American flag decorations, and relatives holding beer cans and paper plates. Beverly took a deep breath and straightened her shoulders. She introduced me as Kevin to at least 15 different relatives, and immediately I was surrounded by curious family members asking questions faster than I could think of answers. So Kevin, tell us about this big environmental case you won last month, said Aunt Linda, a woman with sharp eyes who kept staring at me like she was trying to solve a puzzle. I launched into this completely made-up story about defending a small town against some evil corporation dumping chemicals in their water supply. I threw around legal terms I'd heard on Law and Order reruns. We filed for an injunction based on procedural violations, I said, hoping I sounded official. Everyone was nodding and looking genuinely impressed. Beverly beamed with pride. Then Uncle Charlie, this big guy in a fishing vest and cargo shorts, asked the question I was dreading. What kind of car does a hotshot environmental lawyer like you drive these days? BMW? I said confidently, just like Beverly had coached me in the parking lot. Oh, really? What model? He pressed, taking a step closer. I panicked and said the first thing that popped into my head. The red one? Uncle Charlie squinted at me. The red one? What's the model number, Kevin? I'm thinking about buying one myself. I was sweating through Beverly's dead husband's suit now. It's, the fast red BMW with the really nice leather seats and the good radio. The whole picnic table went completely silent. I could see Beverly's face turning pale behind Uncle Charlie's massive frame. That's when cousin Danny, who looked about my age and was wearing a Cubs jersey, started laughing so hard he spit out his beer. Dude, are you seriously trying to tell us you don't know what model BMW you drive? That's like not knowing your own address. The jig was completely up. But instead of getting angry or calling the cops, the whole family burst out laughing like this was the funniest thing that had happened all year. Turns out, they'd known Beverly was lying about Kevin the whole time. Real Kevin had called Aunt Linda collect from county jail 2 months ago, asking if she could help with bail money. We figured she'd eventually hire an actor, Uncle Charlie chuckled, patting me on the back hard enough to knock the wind out of me. We just wanted to see how far you take the whole charade. The red BMW was perfect. Beverly looked absolutely mortified, but her sister Linda put an arm around her shoulders. Honey, we don't care if Kevin's in jail. We care about you. You didn't need to lie to us about anything. The family spent the rest of the afternoon grilling me about my actual life, which was way less interesting than fake lawyer Kevin. They thought it was hilarious that I tried to pretend to be a successful attorney when I couldn't even afford car insurance on my beat-up Honda. Beverly still paid me the full $500 in cash right there at the picnic table. As I was getting ready to leave, Uncle Charlie handed me his business card. You've got real guts, kid, and you think fast under pressure. I own a construction company. You want a real job that pays honest money? I worked for Uncle Charlie's construction crew for 3 years after that. Beverly became like a second mom to me, always making sure I was eating enough and had clean work clothes. And real Kevin? He got out of jail 8 months later, went to trade school on a scholarship, and now runs his own successful auto repair shop. Best $500 I ever earned, and I didn't even have to lie about driving a red BMW.